morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Oyster Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at some stamps. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, actual Pokemon trading card game stamps. Which honestly is a little bit strange, and I don't even really care. I absolutely love it. Now, what we've got is a bunch of stamps and two of the most beautiful promo cards you will ever see, drawn by the lovely Mitsuhiro Arita. And, you know, actual Pokemon TCG stamps, which I kind of love. As a quick side note, and I do need to mention this because I noticed it and I find this very interesting, if you have a little bit of a look, you'll notice that the attack damage has actually been taken off all of the attacks for all of the Pokemon. And the reason here is extremely simple, I imagine. They are stamps. Numbers on stamps denote the value of said stamps. You'll notice these, I'm assuming, are 84 yen and 120 yen stamps. What you do not do is put extra random numbers onto stamps, because that would be absolutely terrible and confusing. So all the numbers have been taken off. There we go. Now what we've got here are actually 3 different stamp sheets, 2 of which are just being released as stamp sheets. Now, I need to give a shout out to both Primal Lugia and the lovely Antoine Boulet here for helping me out with the information. But essentially, we've got a 63 yen stamp sheet, and apparently there are going to be 1 million of these actually printed. Now, you'll notice that what we've got here is just a reprint of a whole bunch of cards. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go through every individual card. I don't think that's going to be terribly interesting if I just sit here and start listing cards, but clearly some of these are more interesting than others. We've got an Eevee and a Pikachu, and as much as the Eevee and the Pikachu themselves aren't terribly interesting as cards, they are still Eevee and Pikachu, so that alone is really kind of cool. I mean, if you're a player of the game, the one that is probably going to jump off the sheet straight away is there's actually Jirachi from Team Up, which is a very cool card that saw a whole bunch of play. Still does, incidentally. It's not quite rotated out yet. It's got that amazing ability, lets you look at the top 5 cards of your deck and find a trainer card and put it in your hand. It's really cool. So seeing that one come around is quite nice. We've also got a Lucario there, and this is a Lucario which has been on my radar a lot. It's the one that actually came around in Ultra Prism. And if you had a Garchomp in play, it let you search for any card you liked. Never actually ended up being any good, but it's one that was on my radar for a very long time, and I certainly played around with it, as did a bunch of other people. There's also a Mewtwo that originally came around as a promo. It was when Shining Legends was around. It came around as a promo, and if it was active, your opponent's active did 20 less damage. It's not a good card, right? I never really saw any play, but I just find it really interesting that a card that started off as a Shining Legends promo actually ended up coming around as a stamp. Seems like a weird choice. Although, to be honest with you, these all kind of seem like weird choices, but I am absolutely into it. Obviously, the Magikarp one there is a beautiful card with the Pikachu waving. And to be honest with you, right, that they've put Pikachu, Eevee, and Mewtwo on the sheet, that is going to get some people interested. Now, the second sheet here is a bunch of 84 yen stamps, which is apparently going to have 2.5 million copies. But this isn't really TCG related. Now, don't get me wrong, the art here is beyond beautiful. I adore the artwork, but nothing really Pokemon TCG related. But we're talking about the Pokemon stamps, we kind of had to mention it nice and briefly. I love these. I love the artwork on all of them. I think they are all amazing. I'm getting some Pokemon Snap vibes here just because of all the different Pokemon interacting and all of that. But these are very cool. Not really TCG related, but still kind of cool. And then we get to the headliner. The headliner here is actually a special box, which is being sold through Japan Post. And what you essentially get here is a light version of the new family Pokemon card game, which is that learn to play game that we talked about, I believe, earlier today. So you get a little version of that, and that's really kind of cool. We love it, etc. But more importantly, you get the good stamp sheet and the 2 new promos. Now, I refer to it as the good stamp sheet because look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, weirdly enough, you have stamps using the artwork of the promos, but they are just stamps. They're not stamps that look like TCG cards. They are just stamps. You then get some little promos. You get your Score Bunny, your Yamper, your Squabbit, which is kind of cool. The Zacian and Zamazenta there. They weren't particularly good cards, but they're kind of interesting. And then, of course, you've got base set Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. And I understand why they did this, because these 3 cards are absolutely iconic and brilliant, and they're going to get people interested. But with hype for the Pokemon trading card game as high as it is at the moment, and so many people trying to make a quick buck off of the Pokemon TCG, did they really have to go base set Charizard here? Because I've shown you the 3 sticker sheets, this is by a wide margin the best of them. And then you get the promos as well. I really do think this is going to be one of those products which is rather sought after. Now, we have been told that there is going to be an initial print run of 80,000, which sounds like a lot. We'll see how much it ends up being in reality. But there is a mention of possible extra print runs in the future. There might be more of these printed. I really hope there are. I buy Japanese products here and there, but because of my nerdy, obsessionary nature, I really do try and limit the amount of products I import from Japan because of cost and having a mortgage and 2 kids and a wife I actually really like and don't want to divorce me. So I really try and limit what I import from Japan. But every so often, something like this comes along, and oh my goodness, it's amazing. I have put some feelers out, but if anyone watching this thinks they can help me get hold of this stamp box with the amazing promos, please let me know. I would love you forever. So, you got the cool stamps. The cool stamps are awesome. But you've also got these 2 new promos, and like I've said, you actually get stamps of the artwork, which aren't like cards, which is kind of a bit meta and confusing. Now, again, a shout out to the lovely Primal Lugia, who really is a very helpful dude, because informed me that these are actually based on Japanese stamps, apparently well-known Japanese stamps. So we've got Beauty looking back, and then we've got Moon Goose, which are very well-known stamps, and they've basically recreated them with Pikachu and Cramorant, and I, for one, am rather delighted that they did. They are beautiful, and I've made my thoughts about Mitsuhiro Arita as a person and an artist known on this particular channel on more than one occasion. Seeing these drawn by Arita as they are just wow. Seriously, these are some of the coolest promos I've seen in a very long time. Are they good cards? I mean, they have promo numbers, so they will be legal for tournament play. The Cramorant here, the translation actually comes from Grollenketta 951. And although, to be fair, I actually looked at this and did get it myself. I'm a little bit proud of myself. I am learning Japanese, just a little bit slowly. And it is just flip 3 coins, does 60 damage for each heads, which is not terrible. Maybe. I mean, you've got Frostmoth to accelerate energy, so that's kind of cool. Yay. But I think flip 3 coins 60 for each heads is uninspiring. If you flip all 3 heads, you'll get a KO on something like a Crobat or a Kricketune, which is kind of cool. But I think it's for the best that these really beautiful promos that come with limited edition stamps are probably not actually good, because if they were good, that would be a nightmare for players. As for the Pikachu, our translation here does come from the lovely Antoine Boulet, and apparently what we have is, for 1 energy, you switch this Pokemon with one of your bench. It is literally a basic Pokemon that switches to your bench. And that's it. It's not a good card. They're not good cards, but they are among... And look, I know it's only been like 5 minutes since I told you that Shadow Rider Calyrex V Max, the Arita artwork, was one of the best artworks I'd ever seen. I'm sorry, if Arita keeps drawing these phenomenal art cards, I am going to keep referring to them as some of the best artwork I've ever seen. And you can't stop me. I mean, you can stop listening, but please don't stop listening. I'd be sad. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Stamps. Japanese stamps. Some cool, some amazing, and some of the best promo cards, at least artwork-wise, that we've seen in a very long time. And now it's over to you guys. I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know if you're going to be trying to pick these up. I want to know if you can hook a wussy up. You know, go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.